Tutors, Crypto Tutors, hey.
It's a way.
Making money in my sleep? Making money in my sleep.
All right. I am so excited. Welcome everybody to the Crypto Tutors show, where you're gonna learn how to earn from subject matter experts and trailblazers who are leading us into the future. Casmir, and correct me if I'm wrong, is CEO of Nifty Co., where you can source, acquire, and trade rare and unique digital assets for gamers, collectors, sneakerheads, and designers. I stumbled there because there was so much going on at Nifty Co. that I couldn't even catch my breath. You're an investor at Sneaker VC. You're an engineer by trade. You're a pioneer in the world of NFTs. People are like, wait, what's that? I'm going to say it twice. Non-Fungible Tokens. As I promised, I'm going to say it again. Non-Fungible Tokens, which is the main focus of our conversation today.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you. You know, I've listened in on your Clubhouse conversations. I think every Tuesday you're having talks that you give where whatever your knowledge or understanding level is, you have like an open forum where folks can ask you, questions.
That's right. That's correct. Tuesdays at 10.
Eastern?
CST.
Okay, note to self. And then on top of that, I on Twitter, you're super active on Twitter. Ask Casmir.
That's right.
And one of the things that you also do for the culture, for the community to really make this industry accessible is you offer every, I think, Saturday, you do like 30-minute deep dives into, crypto and particularly NFT.
Saturdays are a makeup class for the Tuesdays. So it's after the Tuesdays at 10.
So I not only had to sit in on the Tuesday talk, I also had to take the makeup session on Saturday. And when you started talking about MetaMask and creating NFTs, that's when my mind was blown. And I was like, okay, pump the brakes. Fancified, we need to scale it all the way back. And we need to get Casmir on the crypto couch to explain what the hell is an NFT.
An NFT, just think about it like a video game, right? Like we're kids from the 90s or 2000s era, and there was all these different like in-game items that you could basically like play to earn. And NFT is just another aspect of that in the digital space. It allows you to actually own these objects outside of the game. So for instance, if you're an artist and you've got all these different like 3D models that you've made, you could actually like monetize that by implementing it as an NFT.
And, as I was getting prepared for our conversation, of course, I wanted to do my due diligence. And I came across an interesting fact regarding Delphi Digital, which is a crypto research firm that bought 5 Ethereum NFTs. They were literally digital pets on the blockchain game Axie Affinity for $162,000, right? So clearly, this is not just a burgeoning technology or a burgeoning ecosystem. It's to some extent already arrived when you're talking about 6-figure acquisitions of digital art.
That's correct. Actually, last night there was a auction for Rick and Morty's creator, and it sold for. It was actually a bidding war, and at the ending bid price was $290,000 roughly, and they're donating the proceeds to LA's homeless encampments through the Nifty Gateway platform. So yeah, it's definitely a burgeoning field.
I'm very curious though. I talked a little bit about your history, and I feel like before we get too deep into the world of NFTs, I think it would be super beneficial to just talk a little bit. Casmir, like, how did you get involved? I mean, I went through your, an abridged version of your bio because there was just so much to unpack there. But tell us a little bit about, like, how did you start? Like, where does your story begin?
Well, early on, I was like in college doing a pre-med, not pre, I keep saying pre-med, pre-masters. And around that time, I was very much in the cyberpunk culture. And I came across the Bitcoin white paper in 2011. And I was just so struck by what the ramifications were that I wrote an article about it. And then I just dove deep into the meetups. It was just like a more peer-to-peer, like cyberpunk, like very like underground almost like environment and community of the early blockchain space. And I just immediately wanted to throw myself in that space because I felt like, you know, being someone who could understand it and recognize the ramifications of this tech, I wanted to actually like be a resource and like throw myself into it to become an expert in the field. And ultimately, like, I think my ideas around digital media and the arts and allowing artists to be able to have like more ownership over their works really fueled me to become like one of the leading voices in the community.
Yeah, I commend you for that, because here's the thing. I mean, you could easily go get a job and, you know, make probably well into the six figures, if not seven figures, but you've chosen to, you know, not only be an entrepreneur, but to create access to wealth, you know, generation on account of teaching people how to create their own coins. And so I would love to hear from you, you know, what are some of the use cases associated with NFT? Like how would an artist go about creating their own NFT and then selling it and so on?
Sure. So the idea of non-fungible tokens actually really came to fruition around in 2017. And during that time, I really was interested in fashion. I was interested in the intersections of street culture. And I was actually working on an application in an incubator down at Los Angeles. And I took that idea and really shifted it to dive deeply and like focusing on the sneaker community, like for sneakerheads. I've been a big sneakerhead my whole life. I started off like painting my Air Jordans and Air Force Ones. And then soon I started like doing this for others. And so I thought, hey, you know, there's this like triple threat of people who are also sneakerheads, they're video game players, and they're into hip hop culture and street culture. And so I thought of, hey, why don't we just create an application whereby which you can collect digital sneakers using blockchain technology. And that's what pretty much spawned the idea for SneakerCred. And I worked on that demo as a fellow in San Francisco. And it got the attention of Tech Chia from Binance Labs, who offered me a grant to study how to implement non-fungible tokens on Binance chain and the Tendermint Cosmos ecosystem, and then ultimately started as a startup.
This is really fascinating because you received a grant to essentially help develop the technology, commoditize the technology. And in terms of, you know, what you're doing at SneakerCred, I mean, I've been on the site, and essentially you can buy these like unique, authentic, there's, I don't know how many of them there are, but like for the sneakers, the digital designs that you have, like there's only like one of them, or are there a few of them? I know that there's a scarce and limited supply, which is where they derive their value.
So the approach that we took initially was to spawn 23 blanks. And then those 23 blanks give you the opportunity to build your own sneaker at phase 3, which is the phase we're currently in. And the second drop we did was the Ethereum drop. It's an ode to the Ethereum blockchain. So each sneaker token is unique. It has a unique set of properties and colorways that we borrowed from sneaker culture, icons such as Supreme. We borrowed some odes to NCAA. I played college sports, women's basketball at DePaul University. So we We use NCAA colorways, we use NFL colorways, we use NBA colorways. And just to make a really unique experience, we offered some of our early users the ability to buy and sell them, and some were able to flip them. So we created a second market as well.
So when we say flip them, we're talking about sell them at a profit, buy them and then sell them at a profit?
Well, some people did sell at a profit. We just facilitate the platform for them to do such.
Got it. And, you know, I attempted to go through the process of creating my own NFT when you tried to, God bless you, by the way, take me to MetaMask and walk me through that process. If you're not like a coder, if you're not an engineer, if you're not somebody who's that proficient when it comes to like that world, what are some of the recommendations you have to just kind of help them along the process? Because there's a lot of artists out there, and I think that the challenge with many artists is that they're not, they tend to not be as savvy when it comes to ways that they can monetize their art, which is why NFTs is such a fascinating new world, because it's really giving them access to new revenue streams. And it would be super helpful if folks kind of had a guideline around, you know, how to go about creating NFTs that don't have that technical background.
Sure. So what I do with my 30-minute deep dives is I pretty much show you how to install the MetaMask wallet in your browser. It's just like installing anything else. You just download it and it takes you through the steps. Some of the things that need to be noted is that once you create a wallet, there is a mnemonic phrase of seed words that you have to keep written down, keep it near your passport or your social security number, what have you. And also maintain like the same laptop or device, because that wallet is installed upon that device. So just make note of that. And, you know, just like with any other thing that's of value, you just want to take really good care of it. You want to make sure that you're doing it in a secure fashion. And ultimately, once you're able to get onboarded, I would suggest getting a Coinbase wallet and getting that set up so that you can, you know, buy you some Ethereum or stable coins or what have you. And then you can pretty much start playing and implementing NFTs using a MetaMask wallet and any marketplace of your choice. There's a multitude of marketplaces out there, from OpenSea, which offers you the opportunity to create your own marketplace and storefronts using the ERC 721 standard or ERC 1155. Then there's Rarible. They offer you the opportunity to just pretty much just upload, click and go. There is something you should be aware of is gas fees. It's something that we're working on is
gas fees or transaction fees. Because remember, the Crypto Couch, you know, part of why we're doing this is so that we demystify the process, or not demystify the whole like cryptocurrency landscape. And so there are a couple things that you said, and not to interrupt you, but I just want to point out to folks that are not necessarily familiar with this language. It's like a language in and of itself. You said seed phrase. Now this is important because that is literally like your social security number. You know, like if you do not have that, if you lose that, listen, I know you read this article. There's a dude who lost his seed phrase and he had Bitcoin gifted to him. And it's like $2 million that he cannot access because he lost his seed phrase. And that's one of the things that's different about crypto. Like, you know, the FDIC, for instance, will insure up to $250,000 you know, your US dollar, your fiat currency. But in the crypto world, there's no centralized authority that can, you know, give you offer customer service or help you read.
Well, it is decentralized.
Pardon?
Correct.
So I just wanted to call that out because
it is decentralized. Yeah, totals, absolutely. But that's part of the reason why I was drawn to blockchain and crypto in the first place. I noticed, you know, coming from Chicago, I'm from the South Side, South Shore near Hyde Park, and we had a vibrant arts community. We had a vibrant bank, South Shore Bank. They would sponsor this beautiful mural across the street. And as I went through high school and college, that mural deteriorated and it dilapidated because the sponsoring bank, which was a Black-owned bank, no longer was in business. And in fact, there aren't any Black banks that, support the arts. And so that's part of the reason why I was drawn to cryptocurrency, is that it's a decentralized system that allows you to tap into value. And that's something that historically in the United States, underrepresented communities have been redlined from financial instruments and financial representation. And so this decentralization, although it does bear a higher overhead than, the FDIC, it also gives a lot more sovereignty and a lot more mobility, being able to access these tools of creating value.
So what are 3 examples of digital and physical goods that can be bought as non-fungible tokens?
So the first example would be sneakers. Sneaker tokens themselves can be bought as digital collectibles and physical collectibles. The second I'd say would be art, both digital artwork as well as a physical mirror representation of that artwork. And then third, I'd say video game skins, like video game collectibles or add-ons that you could purchase within a game environment.
What's a video game skin? Just for clarification.
Think of it like a Fortnite emote, like when Travis Scott did his concert and then he offered you the opportunity to buy video game skins within Fortnite. That would be an example. If you leverage blockchain technology, you can take that Fortnite skin outside of the video game and you can sell on the secondary market, or you could just hold on to it in case the game developers decide to delete their database.
Okay. What are the benefits of a customer buying a pair of sneakers as an NFT versus in a store?
I'd say the benefits are there's only so many sneakers you can wear on your feet at one time. And then it gives you the opportunity to, own multiple different versions of that sneaker, and then you can show it off. You can also flip it on the secondary market, which is like a really cool aspect of it. One of our early adopters, he bought about 5 different pairs of sneaker tokens for 0.9 ETH. So at that time,
0.9 is Ether.
Yeah, for 0.9 Ether. And at that time, that was about $90. And then he was able to flip them and he made about $2,500 from that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The provenance that blockchain and NFTs provide is that there's no way to replicate that, or there's no way to actually fraudulently make this StockX tag themselves. And then I'd say another really good example of the implications of blockchain and NFTs for sneakers is that it also gives you the opportunity to make a secondary market without having to keep going back to the store. So basically, if you have the NFT, it lists all of the owners and it lists the time of sale and all the different attributes of the sneaker from that point.
So it's much more transparent.
Yeah, it's a lot more transparent. It offers a lot more in terms of provenance.
And provenance, we're saying that in addition to knowing who's owned it, the legitimacy of that item being, only one or a handful is verified and validated.
Yeah, you know the origin of it. It basically explains to you like where the known origin originated for this item. And this could also extend out to cars. It could extend out to furniture and other forms of land assets as well, like in a virtual space, like the Central Land or crypto voxels as well.
Casmir, is NFT, do you actually get a physical product after you buy it, or how does that work?
Well, the idea of a digital collectible itself is that it itself is the object. It's the idea that you have ownership and provenance over this digital creation, but that can extend out to the physical world. For example, with SneakerCred, we're actually designing a physical shoe. So that physical shoe will exist both in the cyberspace reality, as well as, you can purchase that sneaker for about $250. And then you'll also have like a physical representation of the shoe. But an NFT itself is purely a digital collectible, but it has extensible opportunities for physical reality too.
Awesome. So in other words, NFT is a digital asset.
Yeah, it's a digital collectible by
Okay.
itself.
And where the direction that the industry is moving in is we're starting to see more examples from the digital also becoming a physical asset.
That's correct.
Awesome. Why would an artist or company want to sell their art as an NFT instead of at an art gallery?
Well, for one, you have the physical constraints of being in a gallery, and then you have to worry about, the shipping of the artwork. You'd have to worry about the insuring of that artwork itself, and then you'd also have to worry about other constraints like we're in currently with the pandemic, whereby which it's very difficult to put on a gallery showing at the moment. So NFTs allow you to create an auction for that artwork. It gives you a delivery aspect that's digital and instant transactions. It also provides provenance. So authenticity is a huge attribute of blockchain technology, specifically for artwork and also sneakers themselves.
So, I want to thank you for imparting your wisdom. We talked about where people can find you, Clubhouse, Twitter. She's super active on Twitter, so make sure you shout her out. Tell her that you saw her on the Crypto Couch. And thanks to everyone for tuning in to the Crypto Couch, where you'll learn how to earn from subject matter experts and trailblazers like Casmir, who are leading us into the future.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the experience. It's been awesome.
Want to learn more? Visit cryptotutors.com.